I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is Lamar Jackson is back. The bad news is some new people are out. So Nico Collins, Christian Kirk officially don't practice on Wednesday. I would assume that you are not going to get Nico Collins playing, especially knowing that he had the concussion on Monday night, super late Monday night, right? So I think if you had Nico, you got to plan on not having him this week. AJ Brown doesn't practice on Wednesday. AJ Brown should be good. Don't worry about it. Christian Watson plans on playing week 8. I actually moved Christian Watson in our rankings to the point where he may be an interesting waiver wire pickup for you, but obviously you're not starting this dude anytime soon. Lave doesn't practice, but he'll be good to go. Michael Penix's going to be good to go. And I know that we had sports books already pricing in the Baltimore Ravens as if Lamar Jackson was going to be back at quarterback, but Lamar Jackson had missed practice on Tuesday. Well, now Lamar Jackson's officially at practice on Wednesday. Seems like Lamar is going to be good to go. So if you have Lamar Jackson, there are reasons to be excited. Aaron Jones listed as questionable for Thursday. This will be very relevant on if you decide to start Jordan Mason or not. Calvin Ridley doesn't practice Wednesday. Calvin Ridley's not going to play. Brees gets in a limited practice on Wednesday. Just plays trade the dude. Garrett Wilson doesn't practice. He won't play. Joe Alt listed questionable for Thursday. This is going to be massive if he is able to come back for Los Angeles. Hassan Haskins is out. So again, Kamani Vidal will be somewhat interesting. Ricky Pearsall doesn't practice, so you're going to assume that Ricky Pearsall is probably going to miss. Brock Purdy gets in a limited practice on Wednesday. Josh Downs gets in a limited practice. Bears who didn't practice on Wednesday are DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and Roshan Johnson. Please, DJ Moore miss. I just traded for Rome Odunze. I would love for him to be an alpha wide receiver 1. Bryce Young doesn't practice on Wednesday. Let's see if there's anything else that we have. Yeah, Bryce Young's not going to be playing. You got Andy Dalton this week. But I think that should be about it for the updates that we have. We don't know if it's going to be Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor for the Jets this week. But let's go ahead and let's all collectively send up a prayer that flockfantasy.com works, because we are having problems for the past 4 or 5 hours. So that's why this live stream is extremely late. So hopefully this thing works. Suicide Squad says 4-3 right now, but have a pathetic wide receiver room. What can we do to make our wide receiver room better? Okay, so we are currently second in this league analyzer. It's a league in which we can start up to 4 wide receivers weekly. Quarterback, we have Drake May. 10-team league, am I going to sit here and tell you Drake May is the most exciting quarterback? Am I going to act like he's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or Lamar Jackson? No, but I mean, obviously, we are fine with him. Going over to running back, we have Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs. So we have 2 locked and loaded RB1s. We have Cam Scatterbo as a quality flex. We have Woody Marks as a decent depth piece. And then we have Zach Charbonnet effectively as an elite handcuff. If Walker were to go down, Charbonnet turns into a league winner. And then, yeah, we go over to wide receiver, and you have the worst wide receiver room in the league. We have Tedero, McMillan, Deebo Samuel, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, and Jamison Williams. So I was kind of in a similar spot with my own team. I don't know if you watched the Flock League or not, but I had a very bad wide receiver room, and I had expendable running back depth. And I felt like it was okay for me to go through and for me to essentially sell the running back depth piece, Cam Scatterbo, and essentially I sold him for Rome Odunze. For you, I don't necessarily know if going through and just selling Cam Scatterbo for a wide receiver is going to solve your problem. The reason being is if you look at Cam Scatterbo, he's in your flex. You sell Cam Scatterbo for a wide receiver, then all of a sudden, cool, our wide receiver 1 slot's going to be a little bit better, but our flex is going to be worse. So what I would actually consider doing with your team here is, because this is a double flex format where, again, we are in a really uncomfortable spot at wide receiver, I think you could go ahead if you wanted to. I think you could look to sell Trey McBride. I think that's the expendable piece that we have, as long as there are interesting options on waivers at tight end. Yeah, you can go ahead and just pick up Kyle Pitts for free. So I may try to approach a team that desperately needs some help at the tight end position. Like this team down here is Mark Andrews and Darren Waller. Clearly, I mean, if I were them, I'd be dying for tight ends. Maybe we could try to send them the combination of like Trey McBride and Jordan Addison and go ahead and get Justin Jefferson, or Trey McBride and Deebo Samuel and go ahead and get Justin Jefferson. I think that would be a very appealing move. Going over this team as Evan Ingram, if you could go Trey McBride, Jordan Addison, and get Rashee Rice, maybe you don't even have to do that much. Maybe instead you can go like Trey McBride and Matthew Golden for Rashee Rice. And then you just pick up Kyle Pitts for free off the waiver wire. And if you are able to make a trade like that, you can actually parlay that move with a very easy waiver wire pickup where you can just go ahead and pick up Jacoby Myers for free because you'd be able to drop Dalton Schultz because obviously we wouldn't have to deal with the Trey McBride bye week. And then you can go ahead and you can just roll with like Kyle Pitts. But I think that's all I have for you here, my friend. I really appreciate you and really hope that I was able to help you out in some way with this. I'm going to go ahead and send you over some free questions. Again, thank you so much for being a member of the flock, and please create the voucher with the sites working. Thank God. I will say, so essentially what happened is Yahoo changed some things. I had to shoot them an email. I shot them that email like 15 minutes ago. So if y'all are having any issues on the site, or y'all had issues on the site over the past few days, past few hours, pretty much for the past like 5-6 hours, it's been hell. But it's because Yahoo changed something. One of our things was failing because of it. So I shot an email to Yahoo to hopefully get them to fix that up. We put in a short fix for it now, but if you're in a Yahoo league, maybe it doesn't load initially for you. So I'll keep y'all posted on it, but hopefully Yahoo gets back to me tomorrow. But anyway, made up username here, trading Igbuka for Kyron Williams. Right now, running back, we have Kamani Vidal and Woody Marks inside our starting lineup. Wide receiver, we have London, Quentin Johnston, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Deebo Samuel. I think this is a fair deal. I do think that it's going to be up to you. If Mike Evans was still healthy, I would rather take the Kyron Williams side. But I think this is a completely fine trade. I'm not going to mark either side as the winner because I do think that they are somewhat equivalent. And again, I understand that you kind of need the running back with your team. Now, Dreams trading Devonta Smith for Rome Odunze. I would rather have Rome personally. I think that he is the alpha wide receiver one in his own offense. I am very biased. I mean, I went ahead and traded for Rome Odunze this week, but I had him at wide receiver 12 before I made the trade. Now, the Bears coming through. Here we are trading a future first, Michael Penix, Jordan Mason, Matthew Golden for Jalen Hurts and Puka Nacua. Okay, so it's a dynasty one quarterback format. I will take the Puka Nacua side. And I don't even think it's remotely close. Whether it's super flex, dynasty, tomato, the Puka Nacua side wins this by a mile. Again, that pick would have to be like the 101 for it to be a fair deal. Glitty here at running back. You have no Gibbs, you have no ETN, so it's Kamani Vidal, Rico Dowdle, or Chase Brown. This week in particular, you do have the Bengals favored by about a touchdown. Like, you're not going to see that very often. So this week in particular, it's actually a really good spot for you to just go ahead and play Chase Brown. Okay. Now let's move this over to our next question. Now, Klubas here at running back. I think you go ahead and you play Chase Brown again with, is this the same team? I don't know if it is or not, but Chase Brown, actually, no, you have Judkins there. You got to play Judkins over Chase Brown. No, you have Judkins here, so you have Chase Brown in that spot. Yeah, you take Chase Brown. Again, y'all know I'm not the biggest Chase Brown guy in the world, but realistically, you do have a really good setup going up against the New York Jets, where you are about touchdown favorites. Okay. Now, moving over to our next trade. This is from Alejandro, where here you're trading Travis Etienne and Jalen Waddle for Saquon Barkley. For me, I'm going to take Saquon Barkley, and I don't think it's that close either. Okay. Like, I understand Barkley's been horrendous, but I mean, I have Saquon Barkley and Travis Etienne both on my own team. I'm more so worried about Etienne coming out of the bye week with what the bye shell Tootin usage looks like. Now, I'm a Joe with our next one. Let's go ahead and let's look at this. So currently for the flex, you have Stephon Diggs, and I may go Kamani Vidal over Xavier Worthy. Like, you have no Hassan Haskins, so the touches are going to be even that much more concentrated for Kamani Vidal. Now, Infinite trading Judkins London for James Cook and Brian Thomas. So James Cook, best player in this deal. Wide receiver left over, you have here's the thing. You have Igbuka, Lamb, Rome, Tet. So you can afford to go ahead and make that pivot over to James Cook. You can go ahead and you can get the elite running back. Now, Negatron says, hey, Mason, what do you think? 12-team non-PPR. Okay, so if this was a full PPR league, it would be the Jackson Smith and Jigba side, and it wouldn't even be remotely close. Non-PPR league's a lot closer. In a non-PPR league, Ja'Cory Cross-Kamara is a hell of a lot better than he is in a full PPR format. And Jackson Smith and Jigba is less interesting in a non-PPR league than he is a full PPR one. Running back left over, you'd have CMC, and that's about it. So I will say that you probably still take the JSN side as long as you believe that you're going to be able to eventually go and find yourself a running back. But it is very shaky to have that little running back depth in a non-PPR format where typically we want to put the running backs in our flex. Now, Creamy Baby here at running back. We have Ginty on bye. So I guess you really only have Sharp. I mean, Sharp's on bye too. Bucky's not going to play. Bam Knight's on bye. So, I mean, hell, the only guy that you're going to have that's going to play is RJ Harvey. Tight end, you're going to have to stream someone. Trey McBride's not going to play. And then if Debo's good to go, we'll play Debo and Matthew Golden. But if Debo doesn't play, Luke McCaffrey's your only option. Looks like you're going to have to stream there, my friend. But it looks like we just hit 100 likes in the stream. So let me go ahead and send out a few questions in the chat. So again, if y'all want to qualify to win free questions on the live stream, it's stupid simple. All you got to do is go ahead and drop a like on the stream and then drop your flockfantasy.com username in the chat. That way, if you win something, I know who to send it over to. And then, of course, also, if you wanted to get guaranteed free questions, you can always do so by taking advantage of the offer on Underdog Fantasy, where if you go over to Underdog Fantasy and use promo code FLOCK, you will get $100 out of your account after you play your first 5. And on top of that, you get a free Justin Herbert pick, higher, lower, half a total yard. Underdog Fantasy is currently the #1 sports app in the App Store. 1, because they're available in almost every state. 2, because they have the best promos in the industry right now. And 3, because they're an incredible app. Link in the description, comment section, and live chat, code FLOCK. Now, let's see if we can find ultimate validity on the site. Please, flockfantasy.com, load my users page. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Okay, it's working so far. We're up, held together by bubble gum and duct tape, but I just sent you over that free start set question, my friend. Okay. Now, Miso Blue. Here, we are trading Ginty, Ladd, Pitts for Chase Brown, Marv, Brian Thomas, and Kraft. A downgrade at wide receiver, downgrade at running back, upgrade at tight end, and pick up the extra wide receiver. So right now, we have Ladd, Sutton. That's about it at wide receiver. Running back, we have Ginty, Bijan, Rashad White. Okay, so I will say most leagues with most teams, you're going to want the Ash and Ginty side here. However, your team specifically with the lack of depth with your league settings that this is a 12-team start 9 format. If the league analyzer is pulling this incorrectly, as in like, yes, it's correct. This is like a 3 wide receiver, 2 flex format. So if it's a 3 wide receiver, 2 flex, then we're going to prefer to get the extra starter. So I think you go ahead and I think you take the Chase Brown side. But again, most leagues, I think you're going to want the Ashton Jeanty end of it. Now, Kai here at wide receiver. You have no Puka. I would play Rome and I'd put Ladd in the flex. Yeah, you have no Kyron, so you just play Rome and Ladd. And then actually, realistically, since a Ladd plays on Thursday, put him at wide receiver and put Rome in the flex in case something happens. Okay. Now, Graham kicker. Let's go ahead and check this out. We got 2 flexes that we need. Let me zoom out of this for y'all for a second. Okay. Kamani Vidal and probably Quentin Johnston would be my 2. Not going to roll the dice on Terry McLaurin, and then Stephon Diggs just hasn't been consistent enough with the volume. Bog Nasty. We have no Jeanty. Don't know if Jones is going to play. Don't know if Nico's probably not playing. No JMO, no Hunter. Not going to flex Gadsden. I would probably plan on Woody Marks, and then you can pivot over to Nico Collins if Nico's actually going to play. Now, T. Roberts trading Ferg for Devontae Adams. I'd rather Devontae Adams. Like, if you had no CeeDee Lamb here, obviously give me Jake Ferg. Now, Creamy Baby trading Jeanty, Bucky, Igbuka for Jonathan Taylor and Zay Flowers. 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league. You're getting by far and away the best name here. You're going to have Jonathan Taylor and then Zach Charbonnet as your RB2. Wide receiver, you'd have Rice, Flowers, and that's about it. So here's the thing. I may prefer Jeanty and Bucky with your team. I think you're going to be very thin. I don't want to have to rely on like Zach Charbonnet and then Deebo Samuels every week starters here. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Jonathan Taylor's the best player in this, but I may go with Bucky, Igbuka, and Jeanty. Unless you have a losing record and you need to win games right this second. Now, a Gordon here. Wide receiver, you play Flowers and Rome. And then in the flex, you're going to play Tedero McMillan over the running backs. No reason to play the running backs there. Crow trading Chase Brown and Jordan Addison for Barkley. I would rather have Saquon Barkley here myself. Now, Imk Dude trading Addison, Adams, McBride for JSN, Bowers, and Montgomery. Addison to Montgomery upgrade. McBride to Bowers downgrade. Devontae Adams. Actually, I don't want to say Addison to Montgomery upgrade. Addison to Montgomery lateral move depending on your team. Adams to JSN, undoubted upgrade. And then McBride to Bowers. I'd obviously rather have McBride, but realistically, if Bowers fully healthy coming out of the bye, I think that there's a world in which Bowers gets back to the same tier. So I think we're going to take the best player in this deal. I think we take JSN. Fair deal, though. Banks says, it's a 3-way team trade. This is trade option 1. The other trade option is some dude is JCM, Sutton, and Darnold. So this is a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. I believe this is a 1 quarterback format. Let me just confirm with that. Are there any quarterbacks on waivers? Yeah, there are quarterbacks on waivers. So I'm assuming this is a 1 QB league. A 1 QB league, Dart and Darnold aren't going to make a big difference for us. And for me, in that context, I would rather have Tyler Warren. Now, we have Brock Bowers on our team. So I understand selling Tyler Warren here. I do think that you're losing the value from it. Here's what I would probably want to do if possible. Is there a way we can wait a week and wait till we get through the Bowers bye. Like, I'm not going to fault you if you're like, hey, man, I know my league mates. This is the absolute best that they're going to give me if I go to sell them the elite level tight ends. But realistically, if you look at Tyler Warren right now, he's averaging 14.5 points per game. How many tight ends are you going to be able to get that from? Like, if I were your league mates, I would go out there and I'd be willing to pay a pretty penny to get Tyler Warren. So I think you're losing value, but I understand it based off your team. But if I'm misunderstanding this, let me send you over a free trade question voucher. That way you can resubmit another question if you have one. Now, do be trading A.J. Brown, Kenneth Gainwell for DJ Moore and Chase Brown. I think A.J. Brown's probably the best player in this. Right now we have Brees, Ja'Cory Cross-Kamara, and Chuba Hubbard, I guess, at running back. So, I mean, I understand if you wanted to make this pivot. I will say that I think it's a very exciting spot for Chase Brown this week. Okay. Now, Jen Effin trading Chase Brown, Tedero McMillan, Rashee Rice for Genti, Egbuka, Lad, Nico. Rice to Egbuka, slight downgrade. We have them wide receiver 7 to wide receiver 8. Tedero McMillan to Lad McConkey, lateral move up to you. Chase Brown to Ashton Genti. I view it as an upgrade, and you get Nico Collins for free. So, yes, I would make this move. Okay. Now, Spencer is trading Quentin Johnston, Tyler Warren for Hampton and Egbuka. I'd rather have Hampton over the big Q, and I'd rather have Egbuka over Tyler Warren. So, yes, I would do this. Now, Benny, with our next one. Here, wide receiver. Okay. Wilson's going to miss. I don't know if Debo's going to play. St. Brown's on bye. Like, a Metcalf's the one guy I would go Metcalf and Chase Brown. Like, these are the guys I would feel comfortable telling you to start. It's tough to say anything beyond that, to be honest. Now, Chris here at quarterback. I would go Drake May over Baker. Running back, we'd play Rashad White, Josh Jacobs. Wide receiver, Egbuka, Tedero, McMillan. And the flex, we have no Gibbs, so you're probably going to go Dowdle and Jordan Mason. Actually, you can flex Tyler Warren. I would go with Tyler Warren in one spot, and then if Aaron Jones misses, you play Jordan Mason. And if Aaron Jones plays, you go with Rico Dowdle. But it is going to hinge on Aaron Jones. But I do think you have to play Tyler Warren here, kind of regardless. Okay. Now, let's move this over to our next question. Come on, you can do it, site. Load for us, please, 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 please load for us. Thank you. HB123, we got Kyron versus Brees and Waddle. I'd rather have Kyron. 10-team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. You have Rome, Quentin Johnston at wide receiver, so you can get by. So yeah, I'd hold on to the better player. I mean, unless you think that there's a world in which, like, Brees Hall gets dealt, but as long as Brees is a New York Jet, I'd take the other side of that. Now, T-Bone is trading May and Chase Brown for Javonte. Assuming you have another quarterback, I'm going to take Javonte. I have Javonte as a top 10 running back rest of season. Now, today says, need advice on a week 2 flex. Think Kittle could flex. We would play Rome, and I wouldn't play Kittle. I know it's National Tight Ends Day, blah, blah, blah. But it's a tough matchup going up against Houston. I think you just go ahead, and I just think you take the receivers. Okay. Now, Cousin Lover trading Herbert, Barkley, Smith, Marv. For Daniels, Rico, Sutton, and Rice. Okay. Rice or Barkley, up to you. Daniels versus Herbert. I have Daniels ranked ahead. Smith versus Sutton. Give me Sutton. Mar versus Dowdle. Up to you. Here's the thing. Are you going to be cool with having Chase Brown as your running back one? If you're cool with having Chase Brown as your RB1, then sure, you can make this deal. I personally wouldn't feel great about it. Okay. So we will take the Barkley side. But I could the Rice side's probably the value winner, but it's just tough given the context that, again, I don't want Chase Brown to be my running back one. Now, here we have a start set. Wide receiver Rice, auto start. Jefferson, auto start. Between Flowers, Devonta Smith, Keenan, I'm actually probably going to go ahead and take Zay Flowers. Like, you have Lamar Jackson back, and the offense does project to be a top 3 offense in the league this week. Okay. Now, SGD Man is trading Allen and Kyron for Mahomes and Barkley. Kyron to Barkley, up to you. Allen to Mahomes, up to you. So I think that this is truly just going to be your call here, my friend. Now, Lion Trees, here for the flex. I would take Ladd McConkey over Devonta Smith myself. QX trading JSN, Ashton Genty for Swift, Achane, and Quentin Johnston. JSN first, Achane, give me JSN. Genty versus Swift, give me Genty. I don't know if Quentin Johnston's going to be enough to move the needle. Yeah. I know that this week may suck with the buys, but I think you're better off just holding on to them and toughening it out. Now, Log Up trading Lamb for Barkley and Ladd. Right now at running back, you have Gibbs, Judkins, Woody Marks. Wide receiver, you have Nico Chase, Igbuka. So, I mean, it's tough. You can go with the Barkley side if you want, but I would actually, with a team as good as yours, probably just hold on to CeeDee Lamb. Okay. Now, Miso Blue trading Tracy and Nico for Dowdle and Jordan Mason. For me, I think Nico is probably the best player in this deal. What do you have at running back? You have Hampton, Genty, and that's it. So, yeah. If you're this down bad at running back, you don't have an option. You probably have to take Nico and Jordan Mason. I think Nico's the better player, though. Now, the numbers Mason says, expecting Collins to miss this week. Who to flex? Also, pick up Ingram at tight end for... No, I would not. Here for the flex, you're going to go Judkins. And, yeah, you won't have Nico, so you play Kamani Vidal. I mean, Haskins going to miss. Joe Alt may even play. So I think you go with it. Okay. Now, Sika's trading JCM, CeeDee Lamb for Bucky and Rice. If I had a winning record, I went Rice and Bucky. If I had a losing record, I went Lamb and JCM. Now, C. Cooper trading JSN and Lamar for Daniels and Taylor. JSN to Taylor, slight upgrade. Lamar to Daniels, massive. How bad do you need the running back? You need the running back pretty badly. And wide receiver, you have production. You have it's going to be up to you. But I would be very hesitant to trade a healthy Lamar for an injured Jaden Daniels here. So I think the value is on the Lamar side, but I understand with your wide receiver and your running back room, you possibly wanting to do it. Okay, but it does look like we hit 200 likes. So let's go ahead and let's send out some more free questions in the chat. Again, obviously we're live streaming every single day, regardless if the site goes down for a period of time. And now we have to go super late. But we'll be live every single day answering these free questions. So if y'all want to qualify to win free questions, stupid simple. All you got to do is drop a like on the live stream and then drop your flockfantasy.com username in the chat. So if you win, I know who to send it to. And also, you can always get guaranteed free questions by going over to Underdog Fantasy and signing up with code FLOCK. If you use code FLOCK, you'll get $100 added to your account after you play your first 5. You'll get a free Justin Herbert pick, higher or lower half a total yard, and you'll get free questions for these live streams. Underdog Fantasy is the #1 sports app in the App Store, available in almost every state, and has the best promos in the industry at the moment. But let me go ahead and see if we can find Minnow Monster, something like that, and send them over a free question. Appreciate you hanging out with us, my friend. Okay. Let's go ahead and just found you and just sent you over a free start sit question. Appreciate you hanging out with us in this live stream, my friend. Now, Beto says, hey, Mason, 5-2, best time for trades with the bye week. Do you like this trade, or should I do Rome and Woody Marks for Egbuka, or both deals? I would love Rome and Woody Marks for Egbuka. Like, I have Rome myself, and I would make that trade for Egbuka in a heartbeat. Let me send you over some free questions. I know you're always out here hanging out with us, my friend. Caleb to Daniels, slight upgrade. James Cook to Jacob, slight downgrade. We're paying Xavier Worthy to get it done. We have Dart that we'd play in at quarterback in the short term. Here's my thing. I think the Jaden Daniels side wins this if Jaden Daniels is back in a few weeks. But realistically, I have no idea when Jaden Daniels is going to be back. Can y'all spam the chat? How many weeks do you think Jaden Daniels misses? He's already ruled out this week. Can y'all please let me know in the live chat, how many games do you think that Jaden Daniels is going to miss? We got 3, 3, 1 to 3, 4, 3 to 4, 2 to 3, 2, 3, 2 to 3, 1 to 3, 3, 4, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 2. So it looks like most people are saying the ballpark of 3, and we're in week 8. So if he misses 3 weeks, he misses weeks 8, 9, 10. And then when's the bye for Daniels? Bye weeks in week 12. Hell, would they just keep him out till the bye? But anyway, say he misses 3 weeks. He misses weeks 8, 9, 10. So in terms of how many weeks you get him before the fantasy football playoffs, what you are getting him for 11, 13, 14. You get him 3 weeks before the fantasy playoffs. So it's tough. I mean, if Daniels is back before then, or if you are a contending team, it's probably the Jaden Daniels side. But again, we don't have the clarity right now on how that timetable looks. Now, Ethan says they're trading Woody Marks, Tez Johnson, Kyle Pitts for Drake May. Who do you have a quarterback? You have Daniel Jones. Is Drake May that much better than Daniel Jones? Let's see this. What's Daniel Jones averaging right now? 19.99 points per game. So just call it 20. Drake May is at 21. Drake May is averaging 1 point per game more than Daniel Jones. Leftover at running back, RB2, RB3 would be very shaky. Tight end may be shaky as well. So I'm fine if you do it, of course. But realistically, I don't love selling Woody Marks in it. Now, Taylor in trading away Lamar, Judkins, Garrett Wilson for Purdy, Bucky, and Chase. Yeah. As long as you're a team with the winning record that you can wait for Bucky Irving to come back, I would take the Bucky Irving and Jamar Chase side. Jack and Barak trading Judkins London for Bucky and CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, as long as you're not like 2-5, you take CeeDee Lamb here. Now, it's JP says, would you do this for Jacobs or Cook? 14 team format. We have Gadsden at tight ends. Hampton and Bowers versus Kyron. I'd probably go Hampton and Bowers. I mean, expectations at the moment are going to be, you have Bowers back after the bye. I mean, I would do this if I had a losing record and I just needed wins right now. But like if I was 5-2, give me Hampton and Bowers here. But if you had a losing record, sure. And I definitely think it'd be a lot more interesting to trade for Josh Jacobs rather than Kyron. Especially if you had a losing record. Now, Banso Mike, running back. We're going to take most likely Ramondre Stevenson over Pollard, wide receiver Egbuka and Pickens. And then for the flex, we're going to go with Rome. Nico's probably going to miss. Now, Jack and Barak here running back. We have Jonathan Taylor, Judkins as the auto starts. Wide receiver, we have London and A.J. Brown as the auto starts. Tight end, we have Cade Otton. And then for the flex, we are going to go with, I guess, Kayshon Boutte and Alec Pierce. Really, you're only, I mean, I guess you could go Luther Burden. I mean, you go Luther Burden if DJ Moore misses, which DJ Moore missed practice today. Now, Buzz here at wide receiver. We'll take Shakir over Ao Manor. I need to add Mooney to the rankings. Yeah, but I think we still take him over Mooney. Why didn't I have Mooney in the weekly rankings? Let me go ahead and add him back in. But Mooney's averaging 6.2 points per game. I'm not going to get excited to tell you to play Darnell Mooney. Okay. And then for the flex, probably play Darnell Mooney here. Well, to actually, no, you go DJ Moore. I'd still go DJ Moore over Mooney, and I'd go DJ Moore over Gadsden still. Silky Flocky trading Devonta Smith for George Kittle. Right now, we have Evan Ingram and Juwan Johnson. Wide receiver, we have Marv, Tet. Like, you're not good at wide receiver. If it was a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league, I'd tell you to go Kittle. Double flex format's a little bit tougher, where Devonta Smith may be the play, but I think it's up to you there. The Matrix trading Daniels, Chuba, Nico for Kyler, Gibbs, Hendo, Judy. Gibbs by far and away the best player. Hubbard's not startable. Judy's not startable. Henderson's not startable. Do you have a quarterback? No. QB, you have, I guess, on the waiver wire right now, like Trevor Lawrence, Michael Penix. So you'd be streaming QB. You probably make this deal just because Gibbs is in a completely different tier than the other options. And you're going to be streaming quarterback regardless with the Daniels injury. Now, Rusty Finer trading Flacco, Judkins, Mooney for Josh Allen and Tajay Spears. Yeah, this is going to be Josh Allen for me, not close. Papa Foxy trading Judkins and Adams for Lamb. 2 receiver, 1 flex, 10-team league. Yeah, it's going to be CeeDee Lamb for me. Don't think it's too close in this with these league settings. Okay, let's move over to our next batch of questions. I'm just so happy this live stream's working. I was so scared that we weren't going to be able to stream tonight. And I was like, here's what's going through my mind 90 minutes ago when the site's down. I'm going, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to stream tonight. I've been sitting here stressing about this for hours. Then people are going to give me crap because I lied about streaming every day until Christmas. People aren't going to believe me that it wasn't my fault. But we're here. It's happening. And the streak is still alive. Okay. Now, Uncle Fresh trading Jaden Daniels for RJ Harvey and Matthew Stafford. Well, I mean, RJ Harvey's a handcuff. So this is a super flex league, so this matters. I mean, hell, if you're a losing team and you don't have... Actually, I don't even know. I can't even confirm this super flex league. If this is a super flex league and you're a losing team, I understand you going through and trading Jaden Daniels for Matthew Stafford, knowing you're going to get an extra couple of games out of Stafford. But the world in which this trade would be horrible is if you were trading Jaden Daniels for Matthew Stafford, and then all of a sudden you were just going to have Matthew Stafford going on your bench. So the only way I do it is if it's a super flex league where you need a quarterback to put in your lineup right now. Now, Hunter Dan trading Woody Marks and Michael Pittman for Nico Collins. Running back, we have plenty of names. So yeah, I'm fine with you doing this. 10 team, 2 receiver, 1 flex. We're just chasing the ceiling. Asher trading Hurts, JSN for Bo Nix, Jefferson, and London. Okay. JSN to Jefferson, downgrade. Hurts to London, probable upgrade. We get Bo Nix as well. It's a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, where with the Nico injury, we don't really have a wide receiver 2, and we especially don't have anybody to play this week. So I think it's a very fair trade for you to just go get somebody to play. Okay. Now, Jake A with our next one. Says, worth it. Who could I offer to get Herbert to? Justin Herbert shouldn't cost you anything. Like, why the hell are we going for Herbert? Here's the thing. This trade's a no-brainer. If you want to add in, like, assuming it's a 1 quarterback format. I mean, I don't necessarily think you need Herbert. They don't need Herbert if you're trading Jalen Hurts to him. So it shouldn't cost you really anything. So, I mean, I'd toss him over JMO if they wanted Jamison Williams. Okay. Let's move this over. Jada Tiger. Here, quarterback. I'm going to take Daniel Jones over Dak this week. Dak's in a tougher matchup. Running back, we take Judkins. Wide receiver, we go Ladd. And then in the flex, we're going to go ahead and take Chase Brown in a great matchup against the Jets. Now, Cheddar says 4-3 right now. Is it worth it to get Bijan? Not sure. HN to Bijan upgrade. Judkins to Rome. Lateral move up to you. Chase to Jalen Waddle. Massive downgrade. I would probably not do this. I'd probably hold on to Chase and HN. HN's still averaging like 20 points per game, even though the offense has been garbage. Okay. Now, W. Bianchi trading Tez Johnson for Kenneth Walker. Yes, you do this in a heartbeat. I don't think it's that close either. Okay. Now, Izias here is trading St. Brown, T. Higgins for Puka Nacua. We have Sutton, Worthy, Hunter, Godwin as depth. 10 team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Yes, you go ahead and you get the best player in the deal. You get Puka Nacua. Expectations are Puka's back after the bye. Gunna Boy says number 1 points against, number 2 points for. Sitting at 3 and 4. I just haven't had the right lineup to win. Thanks. Thank you, my friend. Here, quarterback, I'm going to go Daniel Jones. Right now, the Indianapolis Colts project to score the most points in the league by a decent amount as well. They have an implied team total of almost 31 points. Obviously, a lot of that's going to come on the ground. They're going to be running it over and over again. And you have a decent total here as well for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Baker's not going to have Godwin. He's not going to have Evans. So I'd probably go ahead. I'd probably take Daniel Jones here. But let me go ahead and send you over another free start set question just in case I miss anything. Let's move this over to our next one. This is from Darren. Here, quarterback. Between Lamar and Caleb, you go Lamar for sure. Running back, Bijan auto start. Wide receiver, we have Igbuka, Rice, tight end Kittle, and then in the flex, we will take Quinshon Judkins. Now, Blackfire, quarterback, Herbert versus Bo. You go Bo Nix in a great matchup against Dallas. Running back, we're going to take Scats and Kamani Vidal. Wide receiver, you have Higgins. JSN's not playing. Nico's not playing. St. Brown's not playing. Ayuk's not playing. So it's Downs or Keon Coleman. I don't know if Downs is playing, so we'll select Keon. Tight end, you'd go Kittle. And then here in the flex, Bam Knight's not, again, here. Like you have to go to the waiver wire, my friend. You don't have startable options. Bam Knight's not playing. Ayuk's not playing. JSN, Nico, Amon-Ra St. Brown aren't playing. Like the only guys that you actually have playing here that we know are playing are Gadsden, Trevion Henderson, Emmanuel Wilson. If Downs plays, put him in over Emmanuel Wilson. If Aaron Jones plays, put him in over Trevion Henderson. But we have no idea if they're going to play or not. Now, Mr. Philly Wubbs trading Josh Allen for Adams and Baker. League in which wide receiver depth matters, and league in which we do not have a lot of. We have Pickens, Pittman, Worthy, Terry. We are fine. Running back depth, we don't have much. So, like, I'm okay if you make this deal because the depth does matter in your league, and we're definitely struggling for it. It'd be a hell of a lot better if we didn't have to deal with the bye week for Devontae Adams in week 8. Now, Wakil, here, wide receiver, you take Zay Flowers. For the flex, Rachaad White, super easy. Aaron, wide receiver, we're going to take George Pickens, DK Metcalf. Tight end, you take Dalton Kincaid. And then in the flex, we go Jordan Addison. And Schultz is interesting with the Nico injury, but you probably still go Shaheed here. Okay. Now, Rice Steezy, wide receiver. You play Flowers. Tight end, you go Kelsey. And then in the flex, you're going to play the combo of Jalen Warren and Devonta Smith. I know we're going to need to log out and log back in, and we're going to have to send up a prayer collectively that the site lets us do it. Fingers crossed here. All right. We logged out. Let's log back in with no problems. Fingers crossed. We're in. Let's go. Okay. Whew. I had a little scare. Okay. And we have a decent amount of team reviews to get through today. I'll tell you that much. Let's pull this back up, though. This is Rice Steezy. I think we already answered this, right? Yes, we did. We'll just run it through one more time. And let's move over. Jay Soisey, here running back. We have Jordan Mason and probably Ramadre over JCM if you have no Jaden Daniels. Wide receiver, London, Stephon Diggs. Tight ends, probably Pitts. It looks like Njoku may play. And then in the flexes, you're going to go Tedero, McMillan, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. And then obviously I'm very excited to see Gadsden, but let me see what the projections are for Gadsden. Okay. Come on. You can load. God, my computer's just been crashing out today. Flawed asset, running back. You have no Gibbs this week. I'd probably go Woody Marks. Let me see what the underdog projections are. I want to see the underdog projections because I feel like these are going to be our tough spots this week. I've been telling a lot of people to bench Gadsden. Don't know if that's the right call. Like, previous person I said to play Pitts instead. Gadsden, actually, this is a high projection for tight ends. Higher or lower 42.5 receiving yards. What's Pitts at? Okay, 44.5. So Pitts projects better. Yeah, but I'm actually surprised to see Gadsden projects that well. And then what's Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt versus Woody Marks? Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's higher or lower 45.5. Okay, so you do not want to play JCM. Woody Marks, yeah, is probably the better play between the two. Wide receiver, you're going to play Olave, Ladd, Addison. Tight end, we'll go with... Let me see where Fannon's at. They probably don't have Fannon projections out until we get the Njoku stuff, yeah. You probably go Gadsden over Fannon if we don't have clarity on David Njoku being ruled out by that point. And then for the flex, I think we're going to take Tetero McMillan. Okay. Now, Aaron, running back, we go Woody Marks. Wide receiver, between JSN on bye, Marv on bye, your options are gross. Trey Tucker's on bye. I'd go Tez Johnson over Judy. Tight end, you have TJ Hawkinson. And then in the flex, you have no other choice but to play Isaiah Pacheco. Okay. Here real quick. This is from Ghost, who says, I'm 3-4. Your honest opinion would you make this trade in my situation, or is my wide receiver room good enough? So we're 3-4. We need to focus in on how we win right now. So, I mean, obviously this isn't everything, but it is nice on a 3-4 roster if you're able to get the guy that's already gone through his bye with Derrick Henry in comparison to Gibbs, who obviously you're on his bye right now. It's a spot in which I would rather have Puka over Gibbs rest of season, operating under the assumption Puka's good to go coming out of the bye, which I think will be the case. And then Derrick Henry versus Jordan Addison, I'd very clearly rather have Derrick Henry. So I would make this deal kind of regardless of your team, just because I think you win so much value-wise. Sebastian, yeah, we're having an issue connecting with Yahoo on flockfantasy.com at the moment. I went ahead and shot Yahoo an email before this live stream. Hopefully they get back to us tomorrow and help fix the situation. Now, Dr. Waffles trading Caleb, Jacob, Sutton for Lamar, Rice, and Marv. Jacobs to Rice, up to you. Sutton to Lamar, probably give me Lamar. Caleb to Marv, probably give me Marv. What would we have at running back after? We have Javonte, J.K. Dobbins, Bucky. So you have plenty of running back production. So yeah, you probably make this move. If a team didn't have the exciting running back room that you do, or the acceptable running back room that you do, you probably wouldn't. But I think you go for it. Now, Jersey B, wide receiver, I'd play Rome over Quentin Johnston. Nico and Brian Thomas aren't playing. Derrick Henry and Cam Scat will probably be the auto starts. I definitely play the running backs over Quentin Johnston in the flex. Okay. Now let's refresh this. And I think we can probably get over to some team reviews. Okay, we got people saying that Yahoo stuff's back up on the site. There's no way Yahoo already got back to me. Maybe it's Joe the dev putting out a short-term fix to the Yahoo problem, which would be really nice. But let's see. Okay, he didn't say anything. So yeah, he said he was going to put up something. So the issue is like normally. Okay, Joe just texted me that Yahoo is caching. It's not fixed. So the Yahoo stuff will be that normally anytime you do anything on flockfantasy.com, all the data is like 100% up to date. As of right now, it's probably not going to be 100% up to date. It's caching where it's going to check your league every like 15, 30 minutes. So if like you make a waiver wire pickup and then look to see 10 seconds later if it's up to date on flockfantasy.com, on Yahoo, it's not gonna be. Hopefully Yahoo gets it back to us tomorrow and helps us get back to where it's back to real time. But again, if you're having any issues, like I said, we are aware and trying to work on it for y'all. Okay, but anyway, DGAD says, should I go at this or counter? Roman Tyler Warren for JSN, where we have George Kittle. It's in an 8-team league. So 8-team format. The only thing that matters is getting the best player in the deal. JSN's clearly the best player in the deal. So yes, you go for this. Okay. Now our next question is L. Schultz. Here at running back between Pacheco and Bucky. Bucky's not going to play, so you got to play Pacheco. Tight end, we go Kittle over Fannin. And then for the flex, I'd probably play Shaheed. You could consider Fannin if you're in a spot where you had no David Njoku this week. But you'd probably just play Shaheed and play it safe. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's start pulling up some of these teams. Let's get this going for Julian. This is a screenshot. Julian, I'm very sorry that it took me this long to get to your team here. 100% my fault. And I am very, very sorry for that. But I'm excited to check it out now. And let me go ahead and load the screenshots on the other page. It's just a little bit tough for me to do the screenshots because stream modes had an issue all season, which hopefully the devs can fix soon, that we can click the pictures and they pull up. So I got to pull them up on the other monitor and then get them over, my friend. But we got it here. So this is a league in which you only start 2 receivers in a single flex. So it's a league in which that depth is not going to be super, super important. And because depth isn't super important, I would prefer having an elite quarterback, having an elite tight end here if possible. Now, quarterback, we have Rodgers, but hell, we got Lamar Jackson back in. So we have that elite level QB. I actually streamed Aaron Rodgers last week as well when I had Josh Allen on bye. And you can safely go ahead and you can safely just drop Aaron Rodgers at this point. Move Lamar into your starting lineup. Lamar is back at practice and you are good to go. Now, moving over to running back, we have the, in my opinion, most valuable player in fantasy with Christian McCaffrey. We have Javonte Williams as our RB2, who I have ranked as a top 10 RB rest of season. Breece Hall is a capable flex right now. Obviously, if he were to get traded, he could be very exciting. And then going over to what we have on the bench, we are currently sitting with Jordan Mason, Brian Robinson, and then that's about it. And I just realized we actually also have Sam Darnold. So I would honestly probably cut both of your quarterbacks and pick up 2 separate running backs off the waiver wire. Then going over and looking at what we have at wide receiver, George Pickens, Jordan Addison, not the best at the moment, but long-term, you're actually going to be in a really good situation. Reason being is long-term, you can get Puka Nacua back in. So if you have Pickens wide receiver 2, Addison wide receiver 3, you're in an incredible spot. And then going over to tight end, we have Cade Otton as well as Dalton Kincaid. So what I would probably look to do, to be honest, is I think that your team is good enough where we don't want to make this play right now. But we probably want to go ahead and eventually look to trade for an elite tight end. Like if you could potentially go through and send the combination of like Jordan Addison and Dalton Kincaid and get yourself over to Brock Bowers, that would make a ton of sense. Now, because we don't have Puka Nacua healthy right now, you're probably just going to have to be sitting on your hands until you get Puka back and healthy. But once Puka's back, I think you have a lot of flexibility where you can afford to make that kind of move. And you have a phenomenal team here. But I think that's all I have for you. I really appreciate you and really hope that I was able to help you out in some way with this. And again, thank you so much for being a member of the flock, my guy. And now we're going to need to go over and pull this up for somebody else that is screenshots. I believe this is going to be Mighty Mouse. Says, and oh dear God, I'm going to be able to read this. It's going to be tough for y'all though. Just bear with me. I apologize. It'll be the last screenshot team y'all got to look at. Says 0.75 PPR Superflex. I'm 5-2 and in second place. I'm looking to upgrade a quarterback over Fields, as well as maybe consolidate some of my bench for a wide receiver or running back. The league is not very trade happy like I am. So my past attempts to trade for guys like Baker have been unsuccessful. There's also a 4 QB max. Okay. So it's going to be very relevant to discuss here with this team is while I 100% understand the desire and the want for us to trade Justin Fields in a 2-for-1 deal to hopefully upgrade at quarterback, it is a much easier thing said than done. Because if you were telling me, Mason, my league is super trade happy, everybody loves to make trades, I would still tell you, well, you know what, man, go through when you put Justin Fields on the trade block, probably nobody's going to buy him anyway. But then you say like, oh, my league mates don't like making trades. If they already don't like making trades, what do we think is going to happen when we throw Justin Fields out there on the block? Do we think we're going to get a single offer? Probably not. Now, we have Mahomes at quarterback. It's a league in which you start 3 wide receivers. We have Judkins, Javonte at RB, very capable running back room. Wide receiver, we have Addison, Igbuka, London. We have Pickens in the flex. Then down on the bench, we don't have any additional wide receiver depth. And then looking at tight ends, we don't really have anybody here at all. We are currently playing Isaiah Likely. That is not the most exciting spot to be in. So what's the expendable value on this team? We look at your team and we go like, oh, okay, well, where's the trade coming from? If you try to go through and you try to trade a piece for a quarterback, what are we selling? Who would be interesting for somebody to buy from your team? Nobody on your bench for sure. Like if you were going through and making a deal, what your trade kind of needs to be, and this is what I would do if I were you. I don't think you can get some phenomenal quarterback, to be honest. It's not happening. Like the expectations that you should have on your roster will be that the quarterback that you get is somebody like Sam Darnold. Somebody that we can put in the starting lineup, but maybe he's not going to be as exciting as a Baker Mayfield. And how I would go about that is I would try to down tier at wide receiver. I would try to go ahead and send the combination of not even a combination of players, which is rare for us to say. This is a league in which depth matters, though. I would try to send like a Buka and in return get back Sam Darnold that we can put in our super flex spot. And then another wide receiver that's more so a high-end wide receiver too. I don't want to go down to the range of like Cortland Sutton, but maybe somebody like Nico Collins. I think that's the move that you have to make. I don't think you're going to get a super exciting quarterback. I agree that we need to trade for a QB, but I think it's more so just one of those guys that we can put in our starting lineup that we know will be starting the rest of the season. But I think that's all I got for you. I really appreciate you and really hope I was able to help you out, my guy. But let's move this over. And this is from Tommy. This isn't going to load right now because we're not able to load those Yahoo teams. I'm hoping that it will be able to load for us sooner rather than later, my friend, and we can go right back to that for you. But let's move this over for Jimmer Fredette says, hey, Mason, been watching for a couple of years. Always excited for the fantasy season. Don't need any tips right now. Just wanted to flex the team. The buys and injuries, they do have me looking desperate this week. Good luck in the Flock League and bring home the championship this year. My guy, I really appreciate you. And let me just go ahead and take a look at the team anyway. Okay, so we're 7-0. Can you, the chat, let me know, is anybody in the chat right now currently 7-0 in their league? Now, it's a dynasty league, so it's a little bit easier to build a juggernaut roster where you have years to do it. What's actually hilarious, too, is we have a 2026 first, but it looks like it's not our own. I mean, that team is still very good. That team is 5-2, but obviously, if we're 7-0, we don't want to hold our own first. We got a couple 7-0 teams. We got 6-1 teams in the chat mainly. I'm 5-2, and I'm happy about that, to be honest. But anyway, this is a Superflex Start 11 format, so the depth's going to matter. So here's the thing. Start 11 league, everybody is going to be absolutely crushed when it comes to the bye weeks, right? Like everybody's going to have a garbage team this week. You're going to have to put the grossest names imaginable into the starting lineup. And oh, dear God, your quarterback room's disgusting. I mean, I guess we've just been getting carried hard by McCaffrey and Puka and Chase and JSN. So your wide receiver room's just insane. And we have Tyler Warren. If it wasn't a Start 11 league, I think that you may want to go ahead and honestly may want to now. If this wasn't a Start 11 league, I'd want to upgrade quarterback, but because it's a Start 11 league where the depth's going to matter so much, I completely understand with you sitting like this. I wish I had something to say here, my guy, but congrats. I'm definitely rooting for you. And yeah, thank you so much for sticking with us, my guy. Now, this is Bryn is able to say Yahoo League, which we're having issues with right now. Hopefully that is back tomorrow. But let's move this over to Jordan's team. Says, my team feels kind of stuck right now, and I feel like I couldn't really make waiver wire moves until this week with Fields being benched, but I don't know how to make my team better or what I could move, but I keep getting trade offers. They all kind of make my team worse in the long run. Okay, so let's check this out. We are currently the #1 team in the league analyzer. So Fields is benched, and it's kind of irrelevant because you're able to pick up Daniel Jones, who's a top 3 QB. And it does look like we had 300 likes on the stream, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to send out some free questions in the chat. Just give me 1 second. But if you were able to pick up Daniel Jones, then honestly, you're chilling. Like, you're not having to go out there and you're not having to stress about Justin Fields getting benched. You have Jonathan Taylor, James Cook in at running back. You have plenty of depth as well. And you have 5 startable wide receivers. Or 4 startable right now, 5 in the long run once Godwin's back. And we have the tight end that we can jam every week. What are you wanting to do to make your team better? According to the league analyzer, you're currently the number one team in this league. It's a start 8 format. If it was a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, I would say like, oh yeah, let's for sure sell Cortland Sutton and Daniel Jones and go get an elite quarterback. Let's go send Drake London and Daniel Jones and get Josh Allen, get Patrick Mahomes, get Lamar Jackson. But it's a double flex format, so the depth's going to matter. So I like us having the depth. I would probably cut Ray Davis, to be honest. Based off the usage in Buffalo, I'm less confident knowing that, like, oh, if James Cook goes down, Ray Davis is startable. I think Emmanuel Wilson's more of a clear handcuff. Michael Carter is kind of the handcuff that has a role right now as well. So I would cut Ray Davis. I'd pick up Michael Carter. And then, to be honest with you, my guy, I would be chilling from here. I guess, like, if you have a running back that turns into an every week starter like Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt, Jordan Mason, somebody that you'd be excited to put into the flex spot, then maybe at that point, yeah, we can sell a wide receiver and Daniel Jones to go try to get a quarterback upgrade. But that's not going to be something that we're able to do right now. But yeah, I think you have a great team. Don't stress. You have the best team in your league, according to the league analyzer. And I honestly kind of agree with this. But let me move this over to our next squad. This is going to be from JPB. And before we get into this, I do need to send out some free questions in the chat. So again, if y'all wanted to qualify for free questions, stupid simple. All you got to do is drop a like on the live stream and then drop your flockfantasy.com username in the chat. That way, if you win, I know who to send those free questions over to. And then also, of course, you can always get those free questions guaranteed by taking advantage of the offer on Underdog Fantasy, where if you go over to Underdog Fantasy and use promo code FLOCK, you will get 2 free questions for these live streams. And we're going to be streaming every single day until Christmas, answering your free questions. And on top of that, you get $100 added to your account after you play your first 5. Plus, you will get a free Justin Herbert pick, higher, lower, half a total yard for tomorrow's game. Underdog Fantasy is currently the #1 app in the App Store among all sports apps because they're available in almost every state. And they're an incredible app with the best promos in the industry. But let me go ahead and send out a free question to Snake5D. Let me see if I can find you on the site. If so, we'll get you that free question sent over, my friend. Okay. Snake5D. Just found you and just sent you that free start set question. Appreciate you hanging out with us in this live stream, my friend. Now let's look at this from JPB. Says, hi, handsome. Appreciate all the vids. I have a waiver to drop Otten for Brashad Smith. Not really sure what else I need to do to make the team stronger for playoff matchups. Thinking of selling Robinson to the CMC owner and also selling Dart since I have Mahomes, but having trouble thinking of trades. Thank you. Thank you. And I will say, if anybody's watching this and you have Tyler Algier and you can trade Tyler Algier to the team with Bijan Robinson when Bijan's fully healthy at a nice little markup. If you have Brian Robinson and you can sell him to the team with Christian McCaffrey, even when CMC is fully healthy, like, those are moves that you can, I mean, if you can make them, you do them immediately. But they are much easier said than done. Now, we are the #1 team in this. Okay, dear God. No, we're 7-0 too. I was going to say we're the #1 team in this league, according to the league analyzer. And we are 7-0 as well. So the only thing that matters for this team, at least in my opinion, is going to be the upside that we have for the fantasy playoffs. It's all about weeks 15, 16, and 17 for your team here. Quarterback, we have Patrick Mahomes. And Jackson Dart. So if you have Mahomes, obviously there's no world in which you are ever starting Jackson Dart over him. So yeah, if possible, I would love to go through and I'd love to sell Jackson Dart in a 2-for-1 deal to get an upgrade somewhere else. Much easier said than done though. Like realistically, how many teams are going to be interested in trading for Jackson Dart? I knew we filtered that the wrong way, didn't we? Okay, let's go ahead and let's look at the teams at the bottom. This team has Kyler and Stroud. Maybe they want Dart. I would offer them Jackson Dart and Quentin Johnston. See if they'd give us Devontae Adams. I mean, your team's one that should be holding on to Garrett Wilson because whatever you sell Garrett Wilson for, it's going to be at a discount in comparison to his fantasy playoff stretch. Just because he's not going to produce right now. But again, the production right now doesn't really matter for us. This team is Bo Nix. Bo Nix just dropped 40 points. I don't know if they're trading for Dart. This team has Love and Flacco. You can try offering them Jackson Dart and Garrett Wilson for Igbuka. Try offering them Dart and Woody Marks for Etienne or Henry. I'm saying this stuff, but these trades are going to get rejected. Like nobody's trading for Jackson Dart. Looking at our running back room, we have Jonathan Taylor and then essentially no running back two that we can comfortably rely upon. So 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Tight end, we have King. How the hell is your team 7-0? Is it just Jonathan Taylor coming through when we need him? Your team's good. Don't get me wrong. Like League Analyzer says your team's the best in the league. But I don't know if I didn't think it was 7-0 good. I would say, yeah. I mean, man, if you could sell Brian Robinson for an upgrade literally anywhere, if you have a fab system and you can sell Brian Robinson for $5 fab, I would do it because you can just go and pick up Byshell Toot and Michael Carter off the waiver wire. Players that I'd probably prefer instead. Wide receiver waivers don't have anything for us here. Yeah, I mean, if you were going to upgrade something, it's running back too, but I don't see how you, like, I think the way that you go about trying to upgrade running back too is just by trying to find somebody off the waiver wire, and realistically, we have a ton of time to do so. But I'm in 100% agreement with you that if there was any world in which you could package together like Dart and Woody Marks and get a better running back, or Brian Robinson and Kenneth Walker for a better RB, let's go for it. But let me go ahead and send you over some free questions. I really appreciate you hanging out with us, my friend. And again, thank you so much for being a member of the flock. Congrats on being 7-0. Obviously, a 7-0 team. There's not much you're needing to do. Okay. Now, let's move this over to Nate Screebs. Says, worth it to try to get a quarterback upgrade using a wide receiver? Or do I do Igbuka, Devontae for Puka Nacua? Here's the thing. It's going to be a 10-team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex format. So I'd say, yeah, we probably would be down to do either one of those, right? Says, not sure what moves I need to be making. I feel like my team is good, but just getting a little unlucky with points for and points against. JSN, Rise team, and CMC team are all traders. So this is the 3rd straight team that we have looked at where it's the number 1 team in the league, according to the League Analyzer. And we are the number 1 team in the league, according to points for. It's a 10-team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. So quarterback, not good at all here. We have Caleb Williams. Like, is Caleb Williams a bad quarterback? No, but he's just going to be getting crushed by Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be tough to keep up. Now, looking at running back, we have Bijan. We have Josh Jacobs. We have Rico Dowdle. So we're in a perfectly fine spot at running back. Wide receiver, we have St. Brown, Igbuka, Devontae Adams. So we have 3 wide receivers we can lock and load every single week. And then we have the elite tight end with Brock Bowers. So here's the thing. I would say in general, most teams, 10 team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. I'm in 100% agreement that we should go ahead and, yeah, we should try to go and make a deal where we send like Igbuka and Devontae Adams to go up tier and get to somebody like Puka Nacua. But specifically your team, you've already done an incredible job going through and focusing in on building around the top end pieces, and we don't necessarily have that much depth to sell at this point. Like, I love the construction of this team. Realistically, like, you sell a wide receiver like Igbuka with Caleb to go get to Lamar. Then you're starting Wan'Dale Robinson in your flex. Like, that's not necessarily something that I want to be doing. So what I would do instead is I would just roster as many players as possible at running back so we can find the next Rico Dowdle, find the next Rachaad White. So what I would probably look to do, honestly, is I think I would drop Harold Fannin, pick up RJ Harvey, where if you were to get an injury to J.K. Dobbins, I do think that you could probably say RJ Harvey's a league winner. And then in terms of trades, I like the ideas you're throwing out. If you had like one other wide receiver that we are super confident with, or maybe we are a little bit more prepared through the buys. So maybe if like hypothetically Ricky Pearsall comes back, if like Ricky Pearsall's back and producing, then cool. All of a sudden, it does make it where it's a little bit easier for us to stomach a trade where we send Devontae Adams and Caleb Williams for an elite quarterback, or we sell Igbuka and Devontae Adams for Puka Nacua, which again, I really like the idea of those 2 trades when you first pitched them to us. When we looked at the fact that you were the number 1 team in the league, we looked at the fact that this was a 10 team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. But now that we look at the exact details of it, where we just don't have a ton of depth, it's probably a little bit tougher for us to stomach that until we get a little more. But I really appreciate you and really hope that I was able to help you out in some way with this, my friend. And again, thank you so much for being a member of the flock. Now, let's move this over. This is going to be another one of those screenshot teams. Says, I'm currently 5-2. We got Kyron and JSN on bye, playing against a 7-0 team who has Gibbs and JMO on bye. Well, that is bad news for you, my friend. You would hope that Jameson Williams was not on bye, so they would start Jameson Williams against you. So I'm going to take that as an L for us. I screenshotted the waiver pages. Who would you pick up for Miller and Mike? I put in claims already and screenshotted those 2. It's a 12-team standard league format. I have the most points by 50. I am super sorry. Let me see. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to message you. I'm going to message this team to see who they got on waivers. And we will look at their team tomorrow for that. Or maybe they get back to me during this live stream. Or maybe S. Jimp is here in this stream right now. Now, Laga says 5-2, was wondering if I should make any moves or roll with what I have. We are welcome to the neighborhood. We are currently the number 2 team in this league analyzer. We've scored 934 points, which is the most in this league. It's a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, so the wide receiver depth's not going to matter much. I would love to have an elite quarterback. I'd love to have an elite tight end. For me personally, I think I would consider dropping Flacco for Jordan Love. I would drop either Kyle Monangai or Rashad Smith for Aaron Jones. I would drop the other player for Bam Knight. So we're going to drop both Rashad Smith and Kyle Monangai for Aaron Jones and Bam Knight. And then we have Gibbs, Judkins that we can start at running back every week with confidence. We have Lamb, Chase that we can start every week at wide receiver. We have Egbuka as an elite option in the flex. And then we have the elite tight end with Tyler Warren. So realistically, long term, I mean, it makes a lot of sense for us to trade for an elite QB. Like if there is any world in which you're able to go through and you're able to take like Nico Collins and Daniel Jones and get to Lamar Jackson, get to Patrick Mahomes, get to Josh Allen, I would very happily make that trade. And I would go ahead and send that offer out right now. And obviously I would include Harold Fannin in that deal if they wanted him. And then again, like I said, I would make those waiver wire pivots. And then outside of that, I mean, hell, you have the best team in the league. You've scored the most points in this league. What else could you possibly do? Yeah, if this was my team, I'd cut Rashad Smith, cut Kyle Monangai, pick up Aaron Jones, pick up Bam Knight, try to sell Nico and Daniel Jones for an elite quarterback, and then obviously be willing in any deal to sell Harold Fannin. Harold Fannin effectively has no value for you when you're sitting with Tyler Warren. But I think that's all I have for you right now. I really appreciate you and really hope I was able to help you out in some way with this, my friend. And I'm going to go ahead and send you over some free questions just in case there's anything else that you want to follow up with. I'd be super happy to check it out for you. Okay. Now let's move this over to our next one. This is going to be from Abel92. It says 1-6, looking to upgrade. Thought about trading Achan Jefferson Ladd for a combo of Puka Christian or Henry Scat Jackson ideally. I don't know what to do. Week 12 will kill me and I'm already cooked. Trying to make moves in advance to stay alive. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, my friend. If you're 1-6, you're essentially in the fantasy playoffs today. Technically, you can lose 7 games and still make the playoffs if you have enough points scored. We've scored 850 points, though, so we're dead last in this league in points scored. So here's the thing. You have to sell any like you should have. I know Rashee Rice is a crusher, and obviously we're super excited to have Rashee Rice now. Fact of the matter is you should have sold Rashee Rice a long time ago. You should never have fallen to 1-6 in the first place. And I'll say the same thing with Amari and Hampton. Like, I would love to trade for Amari and Hampton on my team where I'm 5-2. But you're 1-6. You need to sell Amari and Hampton now. I would say Lamar is very similar to very similar to Rice in which, like, I'm glad we have him now, but you should have sold him right when he got injured to make sure that we didn't fall to 1-6. So right now, as of October 22nd, Lamar Jackson's good to go. Lamar Jackson will be viable rest of season here. What I would look to do is I would go ahead. I would see if you can get any value whatsoever by sending Bo Nix in a 2-for-1 deal to improve inside the starting lineup. And here's the guy that you 100% absolutely need to sell without hesitation. You need to sell Amari Hampton. I'm sorry to say it. Obviously, I don't like to say it. But realistically, Amari Hampton's at the very earliest coming back in 3 weeks. Like, he's good enough where a container's going to give you some value for him. So can we go over here? This team currently has the most points in this league. They have Trey McBride, Tyler Warren. Is there a world in which you can send them like Amari Hampton, Hunter Henry, and Devonta Smith and get an elite tight end? Amari Hampton has zero value on a 1-6 team. Again, I would love to have him on my own team. But for you, it just doesn't make sense. And then in terms of other expendable pieces for us, like it's a league in which you can only start up to 4 wide receivers here weekly. So, I mean, if you could go through it, if you could sell like Devonta Smith in a deal like that, we would. But I think the move you have to make is you have to get some value out of Amari Hampton right now, and you have to make sure that you can stay alive and you don't fall to 1-7. You don't fall to 2-7, you know. Like it's almost win or go home time for you here. But I really appreciate you and really hope I was able to help you out in some way with this, my friend. But let's go ahead and let's move this over to our next question. And we got S-Jimp here, and let's go ahead and let's pull that back up for you. Appreciate you getting back to me, my guy. And let me pull up your messages here. And yeah, again, thank you so much. Let me go ahead and send you over some free questions as well as I wait for this to load. Okay. That just loaded. So I got Tez Johnson and Tyrone Tracy in the Bears defense. I'm also streaming the Denver's kicker. I'm going to be 100% honest with the Chief. I literally have no idea when it comes to kickers. So I'm useless there. But Tez Johnson, Tyrone Tracy, solid pickups. 5-2 team again. We're playing against the 7-0 team, so it's going to be very important. I know you probably didn't see me say this earlier, but I did say that we're probably lucky that, we are unlucky. It's bad for us that they have Jameson Williams on bye, as we would really prefer if JMO was actually inside their starting lineup. But it's a 12-team standard format. I have the most points by 50. So, S-Jimp, can you confirm when you say standard league, just to make sure we are on the same page, that is a non-PPR format, right? Standard is a non-PPR league. And if we are looking at this, can you also confirm for me that this is a league in which you only, like, let me just see how the starting lineup's laid out. Are we starting 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and then I'm assuming this is a flex, and it just says tight end right now because you're opting to flex a tight end for now. But those are going to be our assumptions as of right this second until you tell us otherwise. So here looking at it, quarterback, we have Drake May. We have Sam Darnold on bye. I don't know if you have more quarterbacks available to you on the waiver wire. But, okay, so you got everybody that you had claims in for. I don't know if you have more quarterbacks available to you on the waiver wire. But if so, like if your league is one in which there's always going to be like Michael Penix, Trevor Lawrence, these just random QBs out there on waivers, I don't know if I would hold Sam Darnold through his bye week. I may actually go ahead and cut Darnold. Okay, you're saying non-PPR 1 point for 25 rushing yard receiving. Okay, can you please clarify any different scorings that I'm not going to expect? Just tell me all the rules right now while you're in the chat. But if you're in a spot where, like your league, there are always going to be a couple quarterbacks out there on waivers, I would probably go ahead and drop. You picked up Tracy, which is definitely the running back that we would want here. Yeah, there's nobody freaking on the waiver wire for you at running back. I mean, if anything, the waiver wire is better at wide receiver, where you could pick up Troy Franklin or Xavier Legette. And it's a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Okay. So, non-PPR, we would opt to go with running back in the flex spot more times than not. Running back, we have Taylor, Kamani Vidal. We have Kyron, Woody Marks. So, we actually have plenty of running back depth. Wide receiver, we have Chase, JSN. So, 2 top 3 receivers. Devonta Smith is our wide receiver 3. Tedero McMillan is our wide receiver 4. And then we have the tight end 1 in fantasy with Jake Ferg. You have an incredible team here. There's a reason you have scored the most points in your league. If I were looking to do anything, I think even after the Mike Evans injury, you have plenty of depth. I would love to try to make a deal in which we can get ourselves to an elite running back to jam in the flex every week. And realistically, the way that I personally would go about that is if we could try to find a way that we could sell Jake Ferguson for a significant piece. Like, obviously, Jake Ferguson has been absolutely incredible. He is the tight end 1 in fantasy. But let me read the rest of the details. It's 1 point per 25 yards rushing receiving, 3 points per passing TD, 6 points regular TD, and 1 point 50 yards passing. So it's a really low scoring format in that case. And quarterbacks should matter a decent amount here as well in that case. Okay. But I would love to go through and see if we could send like Jake Ferg in a 2-for-1 deal with a player such as Tedero McMillan and get ourselves in elite level running back to jam in the flex spot. Obviously, Ferguson's been incredible. He's been the tight end 1 in fantasy. I know in the Flock League, Zach's trying to sell him, and I think he probably knows, similar to what I think most people should know, is that with CeeDee Lamb coming in, just the target share in this offense isn't going to be nearly as consistent. Okay. But honestly, if you sit with your team as is, you have the best team in the league. Is there anything else we could say? I guess if you can't make that trade for an elite RB, getting yourself an elite quarterback may be interesting. Where if you wanted to go through and if you wanted to try to send like a Tedero McMillan and Drake May to get to Josh Allen, get to Lamar Jackson, get to Patrick Mahomes, you could actually afford it. But I think that's all I have for you right now, my friend. I really do appreciate you. Let me go ahead and send you. I actually already sent you over those free questions. So if you have anything else that you want me to take a look at, I'd be super happy to look at it for you. But again, you do have the best team in this league. And I don't think it's that close. I think you're in a really, really good spot, my friend. But let's go ahead. Let's mark that as complete. Let me refresh this. Let's see if we have any quick questions coming in. So those Yahoo leagues still aren't loading. Hopefully, again, they are good to go tomorrow for us. So this is Key Gangsta. Trading Judkins for Bucky Irving. We have running backs we can start in the short term, and I think in the long term, you have a lot more upside for Bucky. So, I mean, I probably don't want to do this if you are like 2-5. But yeah, I think I would trade in your spot Judkins for Bucky. Giga Sweat trading Addison for Dak. It's a 2 receiver, 1 flex league where we have plenty of wide receiver depth and we don't really have anything at quarterback, so I'd do it. Come CD's injuries, trading Caleb Pickens for Mahomes and Terry. 14 teams, start 8 format. Wide receiver, to have Rice, Rome, Addison. Running back, Swift, Marks. And I guess you're flexing like Kenneth Walker. If you're going to get Terry back in a couple weeks, I think you go for it. But in a 14-team start 8 format, it's tough losing the startable name. It really is. Now, Hunter, quarterback, we're going to go Hurts over May. And then for the flex, we had no Brian Thomas, no Gibbs. So it's either Woody Marks or Matthew Golden. Probably playing on Woody Marks. I love you, Mason. Love you too, my friend. Here, running back, we're looking at, I think you probably go Kyle Monangai over RJ Harvey if DeAndre Swift and Roshan miss practice tomorrow. I think it's going to be very important to see the practice reports for the other running backs in Chicago. But if they miss, again, there's probably a world in which you actually do have Kyle Monangai with the role again. But if DeAndre was back practicing in full, you probably go RJ Harvey because he has a really good matchup going up against Dallas. But Danny says, appreciate you saying you're rooting for Judkins rest of season. I'll tell him to take it easy. A little in garbage time when we play in week 11. Don't want to stat pad too hard. We'll salute you, my friend. Week 11 will be a must-win week for you because that will be the week that determines if you have a chance to get into the playoffs or not. It's going to be a close one for you. Toilet bowl playoffs. I don't know. Obviously for me, I'm going to be going for that bye week. And I did realize that, getting the 1 spot over Sal is actually really big. I was thinking about this today on a walk. Obviously, it's going to be tough for me to jump Sal in the standings. What I'll need Sal to have a random loss before I play him again. But if I beat Sal in week 13, I think I play him. Then if I can take the top spot in the league and then I get to choose my matchups, I get to choose my semifinals matchup, I won't have to play Sal in the semis. And I can hope somebody beats him in the semis. But we'll see. I got to flip. I got to get that 1 seed again. Which hopefully Rome can do it for us. But Jack and Barack coming out with another trade. Okay. This is Judkins for Bucky, lateral move up to you. St. Brown to Lamb, upgrade. Otten to Goddard, upgrade. So as long as you have a winning record, I'm going to take the Bucky and Lamb side of this. Okay, now he said this is a different league, and honestly, this looks like a no-brainer spot to go and get Lamar for me, my friend. Here at running back, you have CMC, James Cook, Martin Hampton for long-term upsides, a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. So quarterback's going to make up a very high percentage of your starting lineup output. I would love to go and get Lamar here. But I think we're probably going to call the live stream here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be live before the game tomorrow, obviously looking at a lot of your teams. I'm sorry that we are not able to get to them right now. Kind of dealing with that little bit of a Yahoo bug. I'm just happy I was able to live stream for you all tonight. But of course, I'll be live tomorrow before the game answering your questions. I'll be live after the game recapping it. I don't know if there's anything else to say with this. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Hopefully Yahoo gets back to me tomorrow so we're not having issues anymore with the Yahoo leagues, but I'll keep y'all posted on that. Much love, and I will see you with the live stream tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.